Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another unboxing and review, but today we are going to do something very different. We are going to take a look at this. These are some green plastic army men. They're very generic. This is something I bought at Hobby Lobby for $9.99, and it's their military set with 58 pieces, and it's a value pack. Alright, so the reason why I bought this is because I'm very nostalgic for some of the toys from my childhood. And growing up in the 80s, I absolutely just loved green plastic army men. They're awesome. They really fired up my imagination. And also being a fan of like other military toys like G.I. Joe, I think that kind of fueled the fire. So today we're going to take a look at this. We're going to unbag this military set of army men. And hopefully I'll get a chance to relive some of my youth as we do this. Alright, let's take these out of the bag and see what we got. So it says there's 58 pieces. Let's kind of null these out and group them according to what they are. So we'll set aside the larger pieces first. These look like terrain landscape pieces. Put them over here. More terrain. We'll put vehicles in another pile. Looks like we have some tanks. A couple of fighter jets. Set those aside over here. Helicopter. More terrain. These look like terrain bits or scattered terrain, so we can put these over here. More scattered terrain. Scattered terrain. More terrain, we have some walls. Scattered terrain, we have a flag. The sticker is kind of off center, which is kind of disappointing, as you can see here. It wasn't put on perfectly, but I can live with that. I might try to fix this later. I don't know. But that's alright. It's only a $9 toy. Another vehicle, another helicopter. Not 100% sure what this is. It looks like more terrain. Gasoline canister. That counts as scatter terrain. Giant bomb. Terrain. And it looks like it comes with some accessories. We have a crazy looking hand grenade, canteen, walkie-talkie, and this almost looks like a jetpack. And there's also barbed wire fence. So you have to remove these from the sprue, as you can see right there. Comes with a tree also. More accessories for the army men. There's tools like a shovel, a knife, axe, bolt cutters. Set that side. Then there's another flag. Again, this one's off center. I might have to fix that. And we also have some dogs, a pair of dogs here. Security dogs, bloodhounds. And now we come to the army men. This is what I'm most excited for. And let's kind of group these together. See if we have duplicates. This guy's running. This guy's shooting. Bazooka. Alright, so these are the same. This guy's a rifle. Yeah, so it looks like we're running into some duplicates here, which I don't mind. These two guys are crawling. This goes there. Another guy with a bazooka. Binoculars. And walkie-talkie. Alright, so there's the full set of 58 pieces. Let's take a look at the vehicles first. Okay, so we have a jet fighter here. It looks almost like science fiction like. It doesn't look like a real jet at all. It almost looks like something out of like Transformers. It's hollow underneath, so, and it has 3 landing stands here, so it could land flat on a table. If you're a little kid, I could see someone being into this. It's kind of neat. And it's out of scale with the rest of the line. Next we have 2 helicopters, and it looks like these might be the only pieces that have any paint on them outside of the collars on the dog. There's an attempt of camouflage paint painted on these helicopters, as you can see. And the blades rotate. Also, this is hollow underneath. The tanks look really cool. There's a pair of tanks, and I believe the turrets rotate. And it looks like they're backwards. So they're stored in the bag, I believe, backwards. So they should be like this. So the turrets, there we go. Now it's corrected. A pair of tanks. Nice details on them. Again, hollow underneath. And we have a couple of wall pieces here. There's 3 of them. And it looks like they're not identical. This one here, if you notice, this brick here looks a little bit warped. And, oh yeah, these are actually different wall pieces. Same with this third one. I thought they were all going to be the same. And it looks modular too. It looks like you might be able to plug these in together. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you can actually plug the walls in together. It's a very tight fit, and it doesn't seem like it's completely perfect. But, you know, but the fact that they allow you to do that is pretty neat. I think if you're like a little kid, you'd love something like this. I mean, I'm a grown adult, and I think this is pretty awesome. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So, like, you know, you could like set up these forts if you wanted to, and you know, you could pretend the walls get exploded out. So if you're a kid, you know, your imagination could really run wild with a set like this. There's a couple of sandbags here. You know, if you want to build up barricades. And there's more sandbags, except these come in silver. And just like the wall pieces, it looks like you can connect them together, which is awesome. So if you're a kid, you can build up these cool forts, and you can make stuff explode and be collapsible. Some of the terrain pieces, in terms of scatter terrain, we have a couple of barrels. You know, you can pretend these are like filled with gasoline or oil, and they come apart too. So you can hide stuff in there. Canister for gasoline. This comes apart also. I'm not sure if that's meant to be a play feature, but it looks like some sort of storage crate or ammo crate. Here's another crate filled with, like, I don't know, rockets, artillery. This looks like some sort of like communications array or something. I don't know, maybe this is like a generator. And then we have a pair of flags. This one's on a post. It bothers me that the flag sticker isn't placed perfectly on here. I might try to carefully remove this later on or right now. Let's see if this will come off without wrecking it. Yeah, I might have to do this later. And then we have another flag, which is cool. Like, if you want to play, like, I don't know, create some sort of scenario, like maybe like steal the flag or something. There's this little hill with a hole, and then there's the flag, and you can just plug that in. It's a really tight fit, but there you go. And there's a giant rocket here. You know, if you want, you can pretend that, you know, when the fighter jets has to, like, I don't know, like bomb a town or village or something. And here's some of the additional pieces. Like I pointed out earlier, there's some tools, a tree. They're still on the sprue, so you have to cut these off. And there's also a barbed wire fence that's still on the sprue. Again, you need to cut this off. Make sure you cut it off underneath the base. And there's some additional accessories like a canteen, walkie-talkie, grenade. You know, maybe if you're a child and you're playing some sort of like scenario, you can pretend these are like objective markers. Like maybe you need to steal the canteen from like the, I don't know, the enemy's like cafeteria or something like that. Next we come to these pair of dogs. You know, if you want these to be guard dogs. Again, these are the only pieces outside of the helicopters that have any paint. They have paint, like silver paint on their collars, and they messed up. The paint here looked like it was dripping down the leg. And in terms of the army men, let's get to that. Let's start at the top. We have kind of like infantry. These are guys carrying rifles. They have really weird looking faces though. It almost looks like they're wearing masks. It's creepy. So for those guys, the guys with the rifles, it looks like we have 5 of those guys. And then we have like the heavy machine gunners. There's a pair of them. This one's a little bit bent, but I can fix that later. And then here, we have one guy here with a pistol. Or 2. We actually have 2 of them. For some reason, when I was younger, I always assumed that people with pistols were maybe like officers. And then we have a couple of guys, a pair of them. They're on their bellies. You know, if you're a child, you can pretend maybe these are snipers, or maybe they're trying to sneak behind enemy lines. You know, they're just crawling in the middle of the night, trying to avoid being seen. The detail isn't the greatest on these little miniatures, but I think if you're a little kid, you're going to love these things anyways. Over here, we have 3 of these guys. These might be scouts or recon, or, you know, maybe they're watching from the guard tower. You know, they have their binoculars and they're just scoping out, making sure everything's okay and that the coast is clear. And then over here we have guys, we have a pair of them on walkie-talkies. You know, you can pretend these are maybe communication officers. And or maybe they're like, I don't know, phoning in like a bomb or something like that. Or a raid. Looks really cool. And then we have these guys, a pair of two dudes with bazookas. These could be like, I don't know, like tank, you know, if the tanks break through the barriers, these guys could be in the front and try to take down the tanks. More guys with rifles. These guys look like they're actually like, you know, positioned to fire, unlike the other ones which are running. You could post up these guys behind like maybe the sandbags or the barricades. Over here we have 4 of these guys with the heavy machine guns, and they're running with their shirts open. Yeah, very cool set of 58 pieces. Yeah, it's a small bit of nostalgia for me to like handle something like this. You know, I have such fond memories as a child playing with toys like these. You know, if you're a kid, it's, you know, things that are important to like adult collectors, like articulation and paint application. You know, that means very little to like a child with a huge imagination. You know, these figures, you know, they're just miniatures. They're not posable. They have no articulation. They have no paint. But as a child, you know, with like a limitless amount of imagination, you know, this is something that could like occupy a child for like hours. You know, there's like endless scenarios you could create, you know, campaigns you could play with your friends or your siblings. Very, very cool. And I've also recently discovered on YouTube that there's like adult, you know, grown men who play with these kind of toys. And what they do is they'll actually like, you know, create rules and like almost treat this like tabletop, like skirmish game or like war games, you know, something along the lines of like maybe like Warhammer. And I think that's very neat, especially since toys like these are very affordable. Like, you know, this complete set was only $9. All right, so let's wrap this video up. Do you need this? Depends. You know, if you want to like relive, you know, your childhood, I think this is a great affordable way to do that. They're fun desk toys. If you have little ones who have an interest in this kind of stuff, you know, I think it's very fun to play with. You know, they can learn about the horrors of war. All right, so with that being said, once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I will see you at the next one. All right, later.